Okay, mama, so you're in labor. Don't panic. I want you to calm down, relax, and breathe, and remember a couple of things. Labor is temporary discomfort. I don't want you to think of it as pain. It is also productive. So that means this is a process, but you're going to get something out of the process. Think of it as the big golden pot at the end of a rainbow, except it's a beautiful baby at the end of the process. Understand, you've got this. You can make it, you can get through it, and we are here for you. Let me just give you a joyful moment of labor. Labor is literally your body and your baby in this beautiful dance together, just working together with each other so that baby can come earthside or that baby can be born. More technically, labor is pretty much how your body gets ready to help your baby progress through the labor process, through the birth canal, coming out earthside so that you can meet your beautiful baby. It is definitely something that you should definitely make sure that you prepare for because it's not the easiest thing in the world. But I don't want you to feel like it's something that you can't not do. You definitely can get through labor, especially if you have support there. When it comes to labor, I want you to remember a couple things. One, as the birthing person, your only job is to calm your mind and let your body do the work of bringing your baby earthside. Your doula, your family and friends, or whoever your designated support person is, they are there to support you and guide you through the process. They're going to be firm and confident with you, but they're going to be loving and supportive. We want you to feel safe, seen, supported, and heard. Make sure that you start your advocacy from the beginning when you find out you're pregnant, throughout your pregnancy, and continue through labor and at your birth. Refer to your birth plan as often as you need to, and remember this is your baby, your body, and your journey. When you know what to expect when you're going into labor, that can also help you with your mental preparedness. It'll help you to release anxiety and it'll also help you to know what is actually happening right now and what can I do about it right now. It reduces overwhelm and also allows your body to relax so that it can open up and you can have baby. Because when you're in total distress and you're extremely anxious, your body's going to tense up and you're not going to be able to release so that baby can descend down and come earthside. When you think about labor, you really just think about mom's panting, she's groaning, she's pushing, and then baby's coming. But in actuality, there are literally four different stages of labor. So we're going to talk about those now. So your first stage of labor actually has three phases. You have early, you have the active phase, and then you have the transition phase. This is when your body is and your cervix is starting to thin and stretch. What's happening is it's preparing your body to have baby. The early phase is pretty long. It can be anywhere from 6 to upwards of 12 plus hours. This is a time that you should really be resting. This is an exciting time because you know, like, oh, it's almost time, it's happening, it's here. Then you go into active stage. This can be anywhere from 3 to 5 hours. This is when things are starting to pick up, you're starting to feel the intensity, and the discomfort can become a little bit more. But this is also the time that you want to stay focused because, again, we are literally getting ready to meet our next little person. And then you're going to go into transition stage. When you go into that transition stage of labor, you become a little bit more dependent. You need your people. You need people encouraging you, holding on to you, and supporting you. Things become extremely intense. You may feel like you have to keep going to the bathroom. You may feel the need to vomit. These things are letting you know that you're in the transition phase. Next, we have the second stage of labor, which is birth and pushing. Literally, this is when we're getting you in position. We're getting you ready because baby is closer to being coming earthside. So you need your people there with you. You're going to be in position. You can be moving around, but this is extreme. It is intense. And this is a time for you to not clam up. Don't hit the wall. Continue to release. Whatever you feel that. If you want to scream, scream. If you want to groan, groan. Release all the feelings, release all the sounds. I want you to be as comfortable as possible because this is not the time for your body to rest. This is truly the time for your body to relax. Once baby is earthside, then we have our third stage. which is the delivery of the placenta. This can be anywhere for about 5 to 20 minutes, could be upwards of an hour plus, but just know this is more of a relief. Once that placenta is birthed, that is the last piece of that process. In the fourth stage, this is recovery and breastfeeding. This is time for mom to relax, to bond with baby, to observe that golden hour. This is also the time right after that you may be transitioned from labor and delivery to the postpartum unit. But just know this is your time to relax, get those feels, feel all the feels, and also congratulate yourself, mama, because you just got through each stage of labor and you did phenomenal. What you want to look for when you're starting labor is you're going to start to have pains. The pains, again, will not go away with movement or with rest or with getting something to eat or drink. Also, they will become even more intense each time the pain comes. Those are your contractions, letting you know that your body's getting ready, that baby's coming. It does not mean baby will be here in 30 seconds or 30 minutes. However, every labor is different. You may start to lose your mucus plug. Losing your mucus plug can be small bits and pieces of literally what looks like mucus coming from your vagina. However, that can happen for a couple of days or maybe even a week or two prior to you going into labor. Also, when your labor is starting, I want you to understand that there's going to be a difference between true labor and actually having Braxton Hicks. So Braxton Hicks are pretty much some contractions. They're what we call build-up contractions. What they're doing is they're strengthening the uterus for labor, but your cervix is not softening. Unlike labor contractions, your cervix is actually softening so that it can open up. Braxton Hicks can come randomly at any moment, and they're also not in regular intervals. And with Braxton Hicks, if you change positions, if you get something to eat or drink, or if you start to rest, they should go away. Unlike true labor contractions, they will not go away if you get something to eat or drink, or if you sit down to rest, and also they will come at more regular intervals. When it comes to labor and Braxton Hicks, what will be different is that your Braxton Hicks may come about mid to later part of your pregnancy. Your actual labor contractions will be in the latter part of your pregnancy. So you want to watch the timing and when it's happening and how long it's happening. Also, some other signs of labor could be if you experience vomiting, that's more of a latter sign. That's letting you know that you're getting a little bit closer to baby being born. If you're experiencing the mild pain and those things, those are more earlier signs of labor. When you're in having true labor contractions, you may start to feel a little overwhelmed. You may start to feel fatigued, but also know that this is a normal part of the process and you can do it and you can get through it. If you feel like you're truly in labor, I want you to do a couple things. First, I want you to calm down and I want you to breathe and I want you to relax. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to alert your partner or your support person. Let them know I'm in labor. Then I want you to call your doula if you have one, or your provider or the hospital to alert the staff that you are in labor. When you contact the hospital, they're going to want to know a couple of things. First thing they're going to want to know is when your contractions started. Next, they're going to want to know how long your contractions have lasted. And they also want to know the time between the most recent contraction and the one before, because they want to gauge what stage of labor you may be in. Also, when labor starts, don't feel like you need to immediately hurry to the hospital unless you're truly feeling like something is wrong. I want you to get as much rest as possible. Try to rest or sleep between contractions. Also, make sure you're keeping yourself hydrated, so drinking water or warm herbal teas. Keep your body warm. However, when labor is starting and as you're progressing through labor, you may have periods where you feel warm and where you feel cool. Make sure that you adjust your temperature as needed. Put on layers and take things off. Make sure that you're comfortable throughout the process. Get plenty of rest. Make sure that you're eating because you're going to need your energy to progress through labor. Let's talk about your water breaking real quick. So, not everyone feels the gush of water just flooding out their vagina. You may not feel that. However, what you may feel is a leak, a trickle. You may sit down and stand up and you notice there's a huge wet spot, or you may actually feel the gush. And some women don't experience the water breaking at all. So understand, again, labor looks different for everybody. However, what you feel, make sure that you remember those things so that you're able to report when, where, how long. Now, if your water does break at home, I want you to remember a couple of things, because when you call the hospital, they're going to ask you these questions. 1, what time did your water break? 2, they're going to ask you how much was it? Next, they're going to want to know, does it have a smell? And also, what does it look like? What does the color look like? Those are some things you're going to need to remember so that you can accurately report this information to the hospital when you call and let them know that you're in labor. Labor can be long, it can be tiring, it can be daunting, but with the right support, you can make it and you can get through it. And also remember, when we think about labor, I don't want you to think of it as pain. I want you to think of it as temporary discomfort that is actually productive. Normal pain from injury or illness is not really productive. It's just there, but this is a productive type of discomfort because your baby is coming earthside. You're doing this for a purpose. You're doing this for a reason. So keep that in mind as you progress through your labor. And that's going to keep your mind in a really good state so that you can keep going.